Hello, welcome back to the series Karma, Destiny, and Choice. Today we will be taking up the subject of how far am I bound by destiny? It is my pleasure to be interviewing Sister Denise from the Brahma Kumaris. It's great to have you back as well.
Thank you.
How far am I bound? That is the question that has plagued many, both young and old.
Well, the thing is this, you're bound, full on.
Ouch. So what? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the drive? The reason I'm asking this is not just sarcasm on my part, but within the understanding that destiny guides almost everything that I do, or does guide everything that I do. Do I take on a proactive stance or a reactive one?
Destiny is like a track that's there, that's pre-scripted in your soul. It is there. As the events and circumstances arise from the future into the present, you can do with it whatever you decide. So you have choice. You decide what karma you will do, but what comes up in front of you, that is fixed. It's not that it guides you, it appears in front of you. It's your situation, and then you have to deal with it. And so what guides you, I think, is really your connection with God and your knowledge about the philosophy of karma and your willingness to make a choice that is, in answer to your question, proactive, not reactive.
The danger that some of us fall into is that we leave ourselves at the mercy of life. It's kind of the attitude of sit back and enjoy the ride and let's see what tomorrow brings.
Well, you can't avoid your destiny. And I think that we need to be, take the bull by the horns rather than sit back and enjoy the ride, because the bull might trample over you.
That would be painful.
Yes.
Yes. There are many who find themselves in circumstances that are quite dire, which is a polite word for your life is a disaster. And one can easily think the fact that I have grown up in poverty, have had atrocious parents, have little or no chance of education, have no dot dot dot. One can easily think or assume my life is doomed because my past was doomed, my future is also doomed. How does one move out of such a negative attitude or negative set of circumstances?
Your set of circumstances you need to look at as neutral, not put this value judgment on it. This is negative. This is my house. These are my parents. This is my chances. This is the circumstances. It's like if you're an actor in the movies in Hollywood or whatever, you'll be given, okay, this is your circumstance. Now here's the situation. Now do something with it. And this is it. You have the possibility to be creative. And it's really up to you what you do with the hand of cards that is dealt to you. And destiny is very often described as a hand of cards. So, okay, how will you play it? Always there are options, no matter what the situation is. So the first thing to do is take a look and see what the options are. One option is don't bother to get up in the morning. Okay, nothing good will happen out of that. One option is go out and have a look and see what's there, If you think of Edith Piaf, very famous French singer, Edith Piaf. She was raised in an orphanage, was not well. She was surrounded by prostitutes. This was her birth was like this. And she could sing. So she went out there and sang and got discovered, you know. And in that way, her fame and her achievements took place. There are many stories like this of how somebody started off with really not a very good situation at all, but you understood that you had a gift also, and you could develop that gift. And if you do that, wonderful. But, you know, there are also people who I know who have similar gifts. They don't go out and do anything with it. So it really depends on how you play your hand. You get other people who have perfectly good parents, good house, good education, but they're so lazy they just mess it all up.
Okay.
So we cannot make our circumstances the reason why we succeed or fail. It's what we do with them.
The reason I asked you that question is that so many believe that their past defines them. Your past defines you. Many fall into that trap.
No doubt, but you have to be in the present, because the past is whatever. The past is gone, and every present moment you're planting seeds, which has nothing to do with the past unless you are living in the past. But you don't have to, that's an option. Here you are in the present, look at the circumstances, look at what you could do, and do the very best that you could do. Make yourself do it. You have to push yourself a little bit sometimes, and create good fruit. This is really using the power of choice and the knowledge of the laws of karma and awaken a potentially brilliant destiny.
You stated earlier that your destiny presents itself to you. I hope I understood you correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So one has to be in tune with oneself to be able to read the signs. We make the mistake of misreading the signs or reading too much or too little into the signs. How does one read the signs properly in one's life so that you know that I should be turning left and not right, or vice versa?
Yeah, there is this aspect of superstition or magical thinking or so that operates in people, and that can really get in the way. You're experiencing something and you put two and two together and make 580, you know, and assume that this means something, 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 but you have to verify it and see whether it really does or not. And on rare occasions, it does, but they're rare. And because they're so rare and because they do occur, people tend to make a generalization out of it. But if you're having a feeling, you're having a feeling. It doesn't mean that someone's making you have that feeling or doing something as a result of which you'll suddenly become a great psychic. No, that's not what's going on. And so that's part of psychological and spiritual maturity, to get beyond this magical thinking. And then you see, okay, whatever is past, we say, past is past, let it go, let it be, put it to rest. Now, let's be in the present, let's see what's here, and let me create my future. The rest of your life begins right now.
The rest of your life begins right now. That's also a good one to write up somewhere. So I'm looking at the title of the series, and within destiny there is choices. I have unfortunately encountered a large number of people who give up their decision-making ability to others, literally hand it over, who are afraid of making choices, who do not trust themselves to make choices because their past choices have caused their lives to go pear-shaped, and who are not comfortable making choices full stop. What would you say to them?
Well, I think it needs courage and you need to be almost like thrown into the water of life at the deep end. So you have to struggle to keep yourself afloat, because this, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. And you have the possibility, but you just haven't activated it. Probably somebody's been too overbearing, taking over your life, whatever, and you just never developed that capacity. It's just something you have to do, and put yourself in a situation. Even if you make a bad choice, make a choice. And then if it goes everything wrong, make a different choice. You're immortal. You have a possibility for greatness. You have a possibility to create a good destiny. But unless you try, you won't get anywhere. One mustn't be afraid to stick one's neck out. Mustn't be afraid to do something stupid. Try, but sincerely try to make a good decision, and you'll get good at it.
How does risk factor into this equation?
Well, it's very important to be able to take risks, but it shouldn't be stupid risks. You make calculated risks. So you have to practice to calculate and see, okay, if I do this, what's the possibility? If I do that, what's the possibility? And you may see a good possibility, a good opportunity. Take a risk, go for it. If it doesn't work out, okay, try again. But what do they say? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah, I've always liked that one. Does one's past karma kind of guide one into what your future karma is going to be?
What your past karma does is it creates sanskaras. Sanskaras are your tendencies. And so because you're a person of habit, everyone's a creature of habit, so you carry on with the same habits. And if you want to change your habits, that's quite difficult because you're so set in your ways. If you have negative habits and you actually want to change them, you don't have the power. So a good thing to do is to meditate, because you take power when you meditate, and then you apply that power to your habit pattern and shift it. And very often this is going to be the key factor that gets your life going in a different direction. But you have to apply vigilance and determination and discipline. And then you can succeed. Discipline is an important factor here.
Why?
Because if you do something with discipline regularly, that becomes an energy, it becomes a power. Nobody can succeed if they don't develop discipline. Doesn't matter what your subject is. If you're an athlete, if you're an artist, anything. Anyone who comes into a spiritual practice who's already achieved something through music or art or sport or whatever, you cannot do that without developing discipline. And then your habit of developing discipline you apply to your spiritual life, and you make a good success out of it because you know how to be disciplined.
For the spiritually aware, and especially those who have been listening to you from the beginning of the series on karma, destiny, and choice, we want to ensure that our destiny only entails creating good karma for ourselves and the people we love. How do I ensure that this plays out? And the reason I'm asking this, Sister Denise, is because at any given point in life, in whatever you choose, say professionally or even personally, there's always the risk that you can veer off track, because any choice we make in life can take you to the dark and the light. So how do I bring in good karma within my life choices?
Destiny is what happens to you. And it's fixed. So it's coming anyway, whatever you do. How you play it is how you apply your choice to perform pure karma. You study the laws of karma so well that you have a good idea, if I do this, this will happen. If I do that, that will happen. So destiny is anyway there. It comes, something, some situation is in front of you. It's destined. Now you refer to your knowledge of the laws of karma, and you see what the options are, and then you make a choice. This is how to work with these three energies. The only time that you have free choice is the present moment. That's the only time.
That is big. Too few people know that.
This is why it's so important not to be dwelling on the past and worried about the future, because you miss the moment where you could do something. So we need to be firmly rooted in the present and let each present moment go into the past second by second and keep moving with the next present moment as it comes, because that's the only freedom you have, is the present moment. And it lasts 1 second.
I think that is one of the reasons why our brothers and sisters who practice mindfulness find that practice to be so successful, because of what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am wondering, is it the destiny of each human being to have a face-to-face encounter with God?
I don't know about face to face, but I definitely believe that sooner or later, every soul on earth has a direct encounter with God, and that encounter is what people like to call creation, because the soul in that encounter with God is brought to their maximum best condition from a depleted, maybe corrupted, maybe messed up, maybe karmically indebted condition. And this is why every soul remembers God when they're in trouble.
As far as destiny is concerned, many years ago, I was watching an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she had a lovely guest on her show who said that each father has a dream for his child, which was so beautiful. Does the Supreme Father have a dream for each one of us as far as our karma is concerned?
Does God dream?
Well, perhaps not dream, but does he have a hope as to, my child, this is what I would like your life to be like? Is there such a wish, a dream, a desire from the Supreme Soul as regards me, you, and each and every one of our brothers and sisters out there?
God is not a human.
Yeah.
Very important to be aware about that. That means that God knows your destiny already. And God sees how you're struggling at the present time to reach that destiny. God is not comfortable seeing you struggling and wants you to have the tools so that you can reach that destiny with a minimum amount of effort. And so I think part of it is God will try to put that destiny in your mind so you can see it and then get yourself towards it. And God will give you all the tools that you need. This is the wonder. This is the love of God is this. A normal father, they have a dream, but they don't know whether it'll happen or not. With God, he knows perfectly well where you can get and wants to facilitate that and does that.
Coming back to the subject of creating pure karma. No one sets out to create a disastrous life for themselves. Even when we have dire consequences, individuals go about their life hoping that the outcome of what I'm doing is going to be favorable towards me. How does one know, in the context of destiny, that the karma that I'm about to perform will bring me a profit and not a loss?
I think it's not really about the context of destiny, because destiny is unknown. You don't know what's tomorrow. All you know is there is one, there is a destiny. Your karma and knowledge of the laws of karma, this is for the present moment. And so you're planting seeds. If you want cabbages, plant cabbage seeds. Now, the laws of karma tell you if you do this, this will come out. For example, one form of philanthropy is to build a university and make education available for students. If you do that, in your next birth, you will come in with a fantastic intellect. Another form of karma is to provide shelter for people who don't have shelter. The result of that, you will get in your next birth, and probably in this birth as well, a beautiful place to live. No matter what happens, you will always have a beautiful place to live. If you create a hospital, arrange for people to experience solution for their medical problems, your next birth, you will be very healthy. So there's a direct connection between the seed you plant and the fruit you get. You plant an apple seed, you get an apple tree with plenty of apples. So karma can be calculated very specifically. If you want to be beautiful, give gold.
What's the connection between being beautiful and giving gold?
It's a very deep connection. In India, the description of a beautiful body is kanchan kaya, a golden body. And so when you give donation of gold in a religious context, this will produce a golden body, a beautiful body.
That's news. There you go.
Cosmetic industry.
There you go. That is taking beauty to a whole new level. I never knew that. That's news to many, including myself.
Yeah, well, it's good to know.
Yeah, it is good to know. So thank you, Sister Denise. The subject of destiny is actually very interesting. And what I liked about your sharing today is to know that within my destiny, I also have a choice. And I'm sure that the audience took as much benefit from today's discussion as I did. Thank you. Thank you, and many blessings. So there you go. What is my destiny? This is a question that has been in the minds and hearts of many, and I hope today that you have acquired some answers to these deep questions, and I hope that your destiny is everything that you want it to be. Many blessings, and I do hope to see you again soon. Take care, and goodbye.